Hello everyone, my name is iCitation, aka Sterling, and I am super excited to talk to you today about my Necromancer build for Evil Dead the game. I have been playing this so much since it released last week, and I've been having a blast with it. I wasn't expecting to love it nearly as much as I am. And Necromancer is basically the only one of the three killer types that I have been playing. I know Puppeteer seems to be incredibly strong, but something about the Necromancer has just been such a blast for me. And it's been going pretty well. I have won most of my games since the weekend where I was like learning the game and leveling up and everything. Since then I've been doing pretty well for myself. So I thought I would showcase one of my tougher matches that I've had. And then talk a little bit about my choices and like my skill trees and stuff. Now, I do say this is one of my tougher matches. This is still one that I won. We didn't get to the end game or anything, but it started off looking like I was pretty nervous. But you know, you'll see when we get there. So I thought first, while I queue up in the background, don't worry, I'll skip around when I need to. I thought I'd show off my skill tree. And so I'm not going to go over each thing on the skill tree. You'll notice I am max level. I don't really have a suggestion on what to focus on over other things if you're still leveling the Necromancer, but this is what I have been using and it's been working for me. Great thing about Evil Dead the game is that you can't fill your whole skill tree. You'll notice I'm max level 45. I still have a lot of things that don't have points in them, and that's something I really like, is that you get to try different builds. You have to try different builds. You gotta try different things to see what works best for you. And so I'm not, like I said, gonna go over each little thing, because also mainly because I can't remember them all. But you'll notice I am putting some points, a lot of points in the first couple of tiers, especially on the balance bar length of my units. The reason I do that is because almost every single animation in this game for survivors prevents them from taking damage, and I do not want them to do that. I want to make sure they're taking as much damage as possible. Balance bar, each weapon in the game does some damage to the balance bar in addition to the health, and the balance bar isn't something you can see, but once it depletes, they are able to perform a finishing attack on them. In many cases, that's just, I'm on Xbox, so it's like pushing down the right stick. It's just dealing a lot of damage to them. In some cases, it is like there's a red skull indication that's time you can kill them. And it's like a really cool animation, but it's also a long animation, and I want to make sure they're taking damage. I also have some abilities to buff my Flautist. The Flautist, if you're unfamiliar with the game, is basically a support unit that I can stick anywhere I can. I always try to stick him somewhere far out of the way. You'll see a couple of my spawns in this game. Not my most creative spawns in this game that you're gonna see, but some decent ones. And it's really good to make sure that the range on that thing is as maxed as possible, so you can stick it as far away as possible and still get the buff on it. I believe the upgrade I have makes it 55 yards. And so it's especially helpful when you see the objectives in the game. There's a distance meter, so you can just wait till it says like 55, maybe 50 yards to give it some like distance in the radius, and just stick it down there. I'm also giving it some extra health. It's still not very healthy. I might take that point away, but I do need that point in order to give the upgrades in the bottom right, which reduces cooldown times for all of my abilities. For all of my portals in particular. Portaling in extra units is extremely helpful, and I'd like to do that as cheaply and as quickly as possible. But here's the thing. In-game, something you're going to see if you're unfamiliar with the game, is that you also get points throughout the game to upgrade a little mini skill tree inside the game. There you can also cut down on the cooldown times and spawn costs of these extra units with the portals. I like to also focus on my infernal energy, and so I like to purchase these in the skill trees so that I can focus a little bit more on my infernal energy first, still unlocking a little bit of the portal stuff, but I'd like to build up my energy as quickly as possible so that I'm ready to set things up at each phase of the game. Because every time you get exercised, when they grab the Necronomicon, when they grab the pages, when they grab the pages of the Necronomicon, or when they grab the dagger, you get exercised and you lose all of your infernal energy that you were just building up. And so while I'm traveling to the next objective, I'd like to be building that up so I can set up a couple of traps when I'm there. Obviously there are orbs all over the place, but you know. Oh, looks like I talked long enough to get to the queuing of the game. So we're gonna skip ahead to when we get through.
Kill these fools.
So something I noticed right off the bat is that let me go to the very beginning actually real quick. So right off the bat, like most players of the game, what I will do. Hello, Linda. Yes. Hello. Hi, Linda. Thank you so much. The first thing I will do is start setting up some traps around the objective. Luckily, I spawned right next to one of the objectives. Usually, it's like 200 or 300 yards away. I spawned right next to the pages. So I get to start setting up the traps immediately here. And what that's doing is it's building up my threat in the bottom right. It's getting me to level up, and so I get to start unlocking that mini skill tree that I mentioned earlier. I will also go out of my way to level up chests. Every time you hear a chest sound, sorry, level up, I'm putting traps on chests. They give you 100 points towards that threat meter, whereas all these other traps give you like, I don't know, like 20 or 30 or something. I don't really... Chests are really good. So if you hear a chest, go out of your way, put a trap on it. I'm thinking about trying a game where I spend this setup time instead of going to the objective and putting down traps. I'm considering just flying to all of the like locations that I can, trapping chests while looking for the survivors right off the bat. You'll notice we are less than, we're right about at a minute into the game when they found the first page of the map. That's what started to scare me this game. Is that I've had a lot of survivors that just kind of chill, and they take their time getting the pages of the map to find the Necronomicon and the dagger, to also kind of like build up some of their things. But these guys, they started going for the objectives immediately, and so I finished trapping up. I'm placing down portals as I go so I can collect more infernal energy and gather more threat level. And then here we are, not even 2 minutes into the game, and they found the second page. But thank God I happened to fly nearby a couple of them, so I got the alert that they're nearby, and I can start toying with them a little bit, because if they're going to play fast, I also need to play fast. I start charging my charge there, but I realize that it's not going to work. I'm really bad at aiming it. There's my first flutist spawn. So this is something really important with the flutist, is that you need to put it out of the way, and I usually try to hide him behind buildings. If it's a 2-story building next to an objective, I will always take the time to go out of my way, go up the stairs, and hide him inside one of the back rooms of the second floor of a building. There we go, I managed to scare Ash, get him scared, grab some gear. Something I notice right away here, if you look in the bottom right, he's got a dagger.
I'll take you!
I need to turn this down a little bit. Ash is very loud. And so the dagger is really quick. If you're noticing, I'm able to get a lot of melee attacks in on her, and she can't do really anything. And I think this Ash knows that, because this also applies to when I am possessing people and this Ash wants to attack me. I can't really do much until I manage to, like, especially for my boss unit, get the anti-stagger.
Sorry, something was
and so, you know, I get 2 threat levels just off of that down, and it's really handy. So I managed to level up infernal energy a little bit. I level up my basic portals. They revived. There's nothing really I could do about that. You know, I don't have the best cooldowns yet. I don't have auto recharging infernal energy. It's like, whatever, they're gonna get that. And then here we are, not 5 minutes into the game, and they have completed the map. And so normally it's a 30-minute timer, you know, it's meant to take a while. It's a 30-minute timer to just get the map, the pages, and the dagger. You notice at the top there's a couple more phases after the dagger. Like, there's no timer for... I guess there's technically a timer for the last phase, but that's splitting hairs. It's meant to take a while to do all 3 of these things, and they've done the first one of these 3 in 5 minutes. So I kind of started panicking here. Knew I had to try and keep my cool because, like, how else am I going to be strategic if I'm, you know, freaking out? And so, you know, I hang out with them, I follow them because there's, you know, a near guaranteed chance that they're just going to bring me to the other survivors. And so, you know, might as well. I don't want to go waste my time trying to find them instead. Looks like they're heading off to the pages, which is good for me because that is where I spawned, and that's where I've already set up. The setup's not super important because the trap, they can deal with the traps pretty quickly. It doesn't eat up a lot of their time. Here, I thought they were going to get the car stuck and get out, so I trapped that tree, and then it was useless. Yeah, and we crawl up on the pages immediately. Another great thing, if you'll notice, is that the dagger is like 600 meters away or something. Yeah, here I'm able to get him and use his dagger again. And I keep focusing on her. I feel really bad. I keep focusing on her a lot throughout this game, but, you know, it worked out for me. And so yeah, they managed to activate the pages, and we're fighting. She is dancing away from me as much as possible. I don't know how she has this much stamina. She is just jumping. Luckily, she backs into that trap, and then my basic unit there manages to knock her down. I can see I can probably grab a couple people with that charge. I managed to miss one of them. I get a different Ash this time, and here's the first time you're going to be able to see why this dagger is so effective. No, I lied. It must be the next possession. You're going to see why that dagger is very good. It's like, in some cases, better than the chainsaw, in my opinion. The chainsaw is amazing for damage, for DPS. It's a little slow. It's not the slowest, but it's a little slow. And so I keep trying to go after her, but she's like getting smarter about like getting away from me. Grapple ability is really good. I think the grapple ability might be a little bugged right now because sometimes if you're walking forward and you press it, Evil Ash will just like keep reaching out repeatedly. And so, I mean, it's good for me because if I manage to get one, then I don't have to deal with the cooldown. Here I'm trying to grapple them again, but they get me caught in a stagger loop because I don't have my boss fully maxed out just yet. If you're playing Survivor and the boss unit comes in, everybody needs to focus on hitting that boss. If everybody is dealing melee damage consistently to that boss, they're not going to be able to do much. It's seriously like, it sucks when you're not like max level boss and preventing the stagger. Here's another Skelly. This one I could have placed a lot better, but I don't think anybody goes after it. So, you know, I get to use it for a bit. I went to go pick up some Infernal Energy, forgetting that I like charge it so fast while objectives are enabled. This is about where I start to realize, okay, not gonna kill them here. Not gonna kill them at the pages. Might as well try and do whatever I can to build up my threat level up a couple of extra times, and be ready for the dagger. You'll remember I have not yet set up at the dagger, so I know I'm also going to get some experience points from trying to beat them to it, setting up a bunch of traps. So we know that's not going to happen. I managed to get that Ash yet again. I think he might be the only one I've like gotten at all. But I'm going to skip ahead because obviously I lose those pages. Luckily I spawned pretty close to the dagger. I hear another chest. And you'll notice if you look at my threat in the bottom right, some of these traps are really hard to place sometimes. I still get a lot of threat off of those chests. Oh god, I just realized my mouse is blocking the thing a little bit. I still get a lot of threat when I put down a trap on those chests. And this area of the map has a lot of chests. There was 2 right there. There's 2 in here. There's 1 outside the building that were nearby. And there's probably more if I went to go look, but I didn't go too far away because they were also moving quickly. So yeah, this is just some more boring setup. And I level up some more. Still focusing on, once I get like once I get like 3 or maybe 4 in Infernal Energy, so I start recharging some automatically, I start to focus more on trying to max out my boss. I want to max out the boss quickly so that I can use it without getting staggered. I finished setting up the traps, and I thought I'd go try and cut them off, toy with them a little bit, waste a little bit of time. I find the dark ones as I go past, say hey to my bros, move on. You know, sometimes the bros just, you know, you just want to be some dark ones, just chilling on the river, just trying to enjoy the water, and, you know, somebody wants to grab the Kandarian dagger and him kill you, you know? You gotta deal with them. You just gotta deal with them. So I come and find them. I love doing this. I love just sitting in the middle of the road, waiting for them to come to me, and then take over the car, drive away, honking. You have to honk the horn as much as possible. It's a very vital step in the Evil Dead experience. You have to honk the car horn as often as possible. I find another chest. I see that they're not coming towards it, so I backed off, and then I'm like, wait, no, extra threat level. So I place the trap down anyway. And they're getting closer to the dagger, so I toy them a little bit here. I know if I go down this corridor beside the house, this is the only way they're going to go, because they can't climb over this fence, so I know I can grab 1, maybe 2 if I got lucky in the charge. Use Kelly's Fear immediately. Here's where the dagger... Oh my goodness. This guy in the dagger. Flashlights are impossible to see. You're gonna see me almost lose my not the game, but lose my lead thanks to a flashlight where I couldn't find somebody right at the end. And so yeah, I realized, okay, I don't want to lose all my Infernal Energy. Let's just get out of there. Let's go make sure we're set up and ready for when they decide to show up. To the dagger. If I remember right, it takes them a little bit to actually. So I'm gonna skip ahead. They do show up. They start fighting. Eventually, I start preparing at the dagger while they are still dealing with everything in that parking lot. I'm debating here on, like, do I want to slow them down a little bit more? I try wasting some ammo. This is another great thing that I like to do. Whenever I'm possessed as Survivor, I like to try and waste as much of the ammo as possible. Sometimes if a survivor is by themselves and they get full terror, I will just possess them even if there's nobody nearby and just use all of their ammo. Because ammo's plentiful enough, but it's not the most plentiful. This is a god-awful skeleton spawn. I put the skeleton like in the middle of the road, no cover, nearby the dagger. Was not great. Here, I should not have been wasting her ammo as much as I thought I needed to. She's just got a common, like, blunderbuss, basically. And it reloads so slowly, it's so useless. So I switched to melee, start trying to focus on Ash. A great thing about Possession is that it deals a chunk of damage when I got out, if you notice. Let me rewind a little bit. Watch her health when I pop out of her. Down here. We lose a chunk of health. And it is very handy. So now it turns into a fight. I'm sitting there. I was trying to place down portals. I accidentally triggered my boss. And I went, okay, well, you know, I triggered the boss. It's going to be like a 2-minute cooldown if I decide to untrigger him. So we're using him. His heavy attacks, Evil Ash's heavy attacks, do so much damage. I don't like doing heavy attacks with anybody else in this game, but oh my god, that sword. And you notice I'm losing health, but I just downed somebody, and so I use my grapple ability, try and heal up a little bit. I managed to grab the one person I needed to grab. Somebody else went down to one of my basic units. And then even before I can finish explaining everything, I managed to down him as well. You can see how quickly Evil Ash can just turn the tides. Just turn this game from what looked extremely dire for me into a victory. I still don't know exactly how I pulled this one off. I was really sad the scoreboard bugged out here, so I didn't get to see all of the stats. I love seeing what everybody did and seeing how well I picked out like weak links and stuff. But I would like to go back and check out this final like Evil Ash fight one more time, just so I can be a little more intentional about my description of it. So like I said, I pop into Ash. I do a few heavy attacks, and then I back off. I use my X ability, the ability down here that is now 69. Nice. You can spawn in some extra skeletons to help you. So I do that. Every time I do that, I immediately also use my Y ability. For 15 seconds in an aura around you, if any skeletons die around you, they will be immediately resurrected. Do some more heavy attacks. Keep doing heavy attacks until I get this first Ash downed. Completely ignoring my grapple ability. And then I use the grapple ability and grab, I think Cheryl was her name? I don't know them as well. I only know Ash. But I that was like completely unintentional. I wasn't aiming for Cheryl. I just knew there were two people in front of me, and I managed to grab her. And she happened to be the one I needed to grab because she was the lower health, and that took her down immediately. Thank God one of my basic units took this guy out over here, and so now I just have one left to deal with. I have 182 infernal energy there at the bottom. That's basically turns into a timer when you're possessing somebody, and it was a blast. So yeah, that was my Necromancer build for Evil Dead the game. I might make some more videos like this once I start playing some of the other killers, and I might start streaming this, who knows. But I really like this build, so I thought I'd share it. Thanks for sticking with me. Take it easy. And, you know, have a great, like, weekend or rest of your day or whatever. It's the weekend for me when I'm recording this. Bye-bye.